Well, hello there. Long time no see. Oh my God, it is so hot out. Finally got this working. It was like hanging all over the place. I have a few places to go. There are a few things. I gotta learn how to work this car. Oh, if you don't know, I have a new car. This is a 2023, and can I just tell you, okay, how do I work this? I don't know how to work this car at all. It has navigation, it has all this other stuff. I have no idea how to work it, you know? I'm used to just the regular car, you get in and you drive. So I don't know if you're gonna hear the air condition. I forgot the microphone, so hopefully you can hear me okay. But I wanted to come on here. Well, first of all, I'm driving close to New York, so it's going to take about an hour and 50 minutes to get to where I got to get. My husband, God love him, he went for a meeting, and he forgot his iPad that he needs for this meeting. So I have to bring it to him. And I'm going to stop at Rite Aid first because I have to get a couple things. Then I have to stop at the dispensary. If you don't know, weed is illegal in New Jersey. I don't smoke weed, and that's not what I'm getting. But I do CBD pills that they sell there. I'll explain more why I'm taking that. And I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to talk to you guys why I haven't filmed. I believe the last time that I vlogged or filmed was when I was going to Atlantic City, and that was a couple weeks ago. So we have a lot to talk about. Give you a little heads up, we will be talking about backsliding, addiction, relapse, withdrawal, depression, things that have been going on in my life. And no, I don't have to talk about it. But I think if I can help one person, I think it's beneficial, and I would love to talk about it. So let me go on Rite Aid, and I'll be right back. All right, so I am back, and this has like a camera, like you can see. It's just so different, and I don't know. I'm not used to it, even though I still do this right when I can just look at the camera here. I got to get used to it. The markup for these brand new cars, like I said, this is a 2022, is crazy. I think it was like an extra $5,000, like, because there's just a shortage in New Jersey. I'm sure there's a shortage all over, but especially, here's the thing, with used cars and new cars, it's only a couple $1,000s difference now, but you would want to get a new car because of the warranty is so much better. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I gotta look over here. Anywho, okay, I got to get gas for the first time. I think my gas is on this tank. I don't see a thing where it says where, but we'll know. We'll see. If you don't know, we don't pump our own gas in Jersey, so. Can you fill it with regular? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, cash. It didn't even cost $20 to fill this up. 1973. That's it. Wow. I thought it would cost more. Do you have change for 100, or do you need? Yeah, I thought it was going to cost more. What? 5. Thank you. All right, so I had to pay inside because I had a $100 bill, and they don't take anything. I don't know how much. I thought it would cost more, so I don't even know. Well, I guess it's filled. I don't even know how to read this stupid thing. I do know, like, the gas mileage is really, really good on here, so. Okay, anyway, so now I'm on my way to the dispensary, and let's talk business now. Let's talk really serious, because I just been blabbing. And I want to tell you why I haven't been vlogging, well, really been filming on either channel. It's been a couple weeks. I think the last thing I filmed on my main channel was palettes I can't live without. I already filmed palettes I can live without. I just never edited it or anything. But I am so behind on my main channel, like, oh my God. So some of the boxes, like for July, I'm going to call a wash, but I already got my BoxyCharm for August. I got the Ipsy Plus, the Ipsy X, you know, I got all that stuff, you know, so I need to get that out ASAP. But I don't even know where to begin. So you guys know 4 months ago, April 1st, in March, the end of March, I had a heart attack, okay? Which I did not know I had a heart attack. It was a mild heart attack. I went to the doctor's a couple days later. He did an EKG. I was not an active heart attack, but he recommended me to go to the hospital. So I went. They did all these tests. Come to find out, you know, whatever. I had to get stents put in and different things like that. And I went into one of the worst depressions that I've had in so long. See, I've always suffered from depression, always, okay? But this was a depression where I would sat and cried like a baby because of guilt. And I never dealt with childhood trauma. And everything, it was just the worst. You know, when you have a near-death experience or somebody to say, you had another one, because now you don't even have one that's 99%. Your LAD is blocked, which is the one that will kill you. And it's all because I didn't take care of my diabetes. It was all my fault, okay? The guilt that I had and my kids' faces. I don't know how to explain it. I wasn't suicidal, but I thought my kids will be better without me. I can't deal with things. Not that I would ever do anything, you know, I would not. But it was just bad. Every little thing hurt my feelings, you know. And then, so that happened April 1st, April Fool's Day of all things, right? April 6th was my 46th birthday, and I was so excited because I was like, I almost didn't make it to another birthday. My mother was 42 or 44 when she had her first heart attack, and she had open heart surgery. I mean, she really almost died. Anyway, I started doing a little bit better. I started going to cardiac rehab. You guys know that. I started to do a lot of walk-in talks, getting out of the house, because I noticed prior my depression was not having a car, staying in the house, a lot of things going on. You guys know, if you've been with me for a while, I had a lot of issues with the house, with the heat not working. There was a fire, if you don't know, in 2018 there was a fire. When my mom moved back in 2019, she wasn't even there 30 days before she passed away. She passed away on Thanksgiving. My grandmother passed away before the house got done. You stupid. Sorry. I have road rage. I admit that. They didn't have their blinker on. And anyway. And so I was doing a lot better. Okay? Isaiah got sick. He had strep throat. My husband went away for like 10 days for a meeting, and so I stayed home with Isaiah, different things like that. I stopped going to cardiac rehab because then I wasn't feeling good, and there's a lot of people. I mean, there was one guy that was 92 or 93. They're all in their 70s, 80s. Some are there for their heart, some are there for their lungs, okay? And I didn't want to take that chance, even though we all wore masks and everything. I never went back. Then my depression came even more. And then that's when I started thinking. What is that noise? I don't know what that means. So I want to talk a little bit. I've been going to counseling like online, not actually physically seeing someone. That has helped me a lot. So I don't know where to start, because I did have a relapse and different things. So let's start why I had my relapse. mental. I suffered from mental abuse, not physical abuse as a child. And I'm not going to really get into it. That I never handled. Never went to counseling. Never, the trauma. I've seen things that a child should never see. Animal abuse, physical abuse, not to me. And I do believe in family curses. My great-grandmother, she was more of a single parent. My grandmother was like an abusive relationship. My mother was, it just goes on and on. I was a single parent. So when I was about 14, I started rebelling. I didn't want to go to school. My mom would drop me off and I would walk out, go in the door and walk out. Is this it? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to pull into the dispensary and then I'll be right back. Okay, they're closed on Saturdays. They're open on Sundays. Fuck. Okay. I gotta look and see what else. I'll be back. So there's one in the next town over, but they don't have what I'm looking for. The next one is in Philadelphia. I'm not going to Philly. Maryland. There's New York. I didn't know Maryland was legal. Well, I'll be all right until tomorrow. I'll have to come tomorrow. They're open up from 11 to 4. All right, so I'm on the road. Now, what was I talking about? Anyway, I never dealt with childhood trauma, so I've always, suffered from depression, different things. Well, growing up, my mother and my grandmother are the ones who raised me, and they always told me, like, never depend on a man. Don't let a man tell you how to raise your kids. Be independent, all that kind of stuff. And because of things that I've seen in my childhood, I took that for real. Never trust a man. Don't let your child sit on a man's lap. So when I had my own kids, even their own fathers, especially my daughter, you do have no reason to hold my daughter in your lap. I don't know if you're getting a hard on. I mean, it sounds stupid now. Leading vehicles driving away. Oh, that's weird. It told me because I was at a red light. Anyway, I'm very, this car has got me, excited. I can't help it. And I was too overprotective. I see that now. But at that time, that's how I was raised, When I met my husband, my daughter was 11. Say he was looking for dirty dishes. Well, if she's sleeping or even in her room, you don't go in her room. And I know he would never do anything to hurt my child. I mean, I hope not. You're never 100% sure. But even now, my daughter's 22. You do not go in my child's room. Even my kid's room. You have no reason to. And I didn't realize that, when you still have childhood trauma, that can affect you in your adult life. Sure, there are people that says, look, you're an adult now. Whatever happened when you're a child, get over it. But sometimes it's hard to do. I had my mother tell me one time. Now, my mother was addicted to drugs ever since I was a child. As I got older, it was more opiates and other things. It wasn't hard drugs. But I remember my mother telling me, I was either 8 or 9 years old, and she says, now my father died at the age of 33. And he was supposedly, I don't remember him. He was very abusive to her. Back then, he died, I think, in 82 or 83. I can't remember. And, back then, women didn't have a lot of help with domestic violence when it came to the police and stuff. That was your husband, they allowed them back in the house. Okay? So my mom would move and hide and go out of state to get away from him and different things like that. Well, anyway, I remember my mom telling me that, we were talking, and she was saying how like my brother was planned and all that kind of stuff. And then she told me, and I know she didn't mean it like this, but you don't tell an 8 or 9-year-old, well, I got pregnant with you because your father raped me. I wanted you, I'm glad you're here. That always stuck with me. Because, you know, my brother was able to have girls come to the house and get away with it. When he turned, you know, I don't know, 16, 17, they helped him get his first car. It was so different with me. And I kept thinking, is it why? Because, you know, you just in your mind, you think things. And now that I'm adult, I know that's not how she meant that. I know that. I was very angry with my mother because I couldn't understand, why are you on these drugs or these opiates or going to all these different doctors, and like, why? Like, you know, my father died from a heroin overdose. Like, why would you, like, you know, just so much stuff. So the first guy, I was 17, that act like he was interested in me, I went for him. And I, again, was in an abusive relationship. You think it's love, or I didn't think anybody would want me. You know, just a lot of stuff. I never dealt with that issue. So let's move on. You know, when I finally got enough nerve to leave my son's father, Tyler was 3 years old. His birthday's in November, and I wanted to wait till after his birthday. That's when, you guys remember, you used to go like McDonald's and stuff and have birthday parties at the McDonald's, and they would have a cake and all that stuff. And his father was fighting me for joint custody or something like that. Now, my mom, even my dad, was from West Atlantic City. My mom says to me, after I got the paperwork, and she was serious, and she says, you want to get them whacked? Now, if you guys know that term, you can understand where my ancestry and different things, okay? I said, what? She goes, I can get a hitman out and let's take him out. Or my mom would have did it and spent the rest of her life, so that we knew my son stayed in the family. And I was like, no, I mean, I don't hate him that much. My son needs a father, you know. This is the type of family I grew up with. I grew up with, you handle things yourself. You do not get the police involved. You don't call the cops. So as what are these noises? I don't know. So as I was older and started fighting and hanging with the wrong crowd, you know, I'm about 18, 19, 20. I'm still rebelling. And I was never in a gang, but I was definitely associated with gangs. It was called 31 Deep. It wasn't like the Crips or the, the Bloods, you know. Bloods are very big in my area, you know, but, and, gosh, and because there was 31 people in there, and there's not too many either living or in jail, you know, they're just, you know, whatever, and they were crazy. So many people, I don't know if they were scared of me, but they were scared of who I hung with, and I knew that, right? So I got away with a lot of stuff. I did a lot of bad things, guys. That I know karma comes, you know, it does. But the point is, even if I was fighting a girl, we never called the cops. Or if somebody came to try to jump me, I'm not going to call the cops. I'm going to get you back when I see you, and I don't even care if you have your kids with you. You better hope and pray when I see you don't have your kids with you, because I didn't give a fuck. Now, I know it sounds stupid. I'm just telling you how I was, guys. I'm 46. We're going back 30 years ago, okay? 20-something, 30 years ago. I remember one time, this girl I didn't get along with, and she called my phone, and I was like, bitch, I'm coming there right now. I'm an Aries. So I'm very hot-tempered, short-tempered, and you're going to know what I'm going to do because I'm going to tell you. I'm very impulsive. And I'm going to say what I'm going to do. I say what I mean. get my shoes on, I go over there. This girl, she had 7 sisters. She had a couple brothers. And her house was like the hangout house, right? I'm by myself. But I had no fear of anybody because how I was, how my mom was, you know, when my mom raised me and my brother, my mom had women scared of her that they made their husbands come and confront my mother. So I need you to understand how I grew up, okay? I go to the girl's house. She comes right outside. All the people are outside. I didn't give a fuck. I was so mad. I'm like, you want my hand? This girl came. She came close to me. And I learned my lesson the first time, and she hit me. She hit me first. Never had that happen. She split my I still have a scar here. I should have went and got stitches. And I sat there for like, if you can count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, for like 5 seconds, because I kept thinking in my head, this bitch just hit me. This bitch just hit me. This bitch just hit me. And all of a sudden, I seen red. It was like foaming from the mouth. Not real foam, but you know. And I mean, they had to get me off her. I was taking her head and banging it on this. Like, I could have killed the girl. I learned real quick, you don't let somebody get close to you. And I don't do that talking stuff. But we never called cops. I never went to the hospital to get stitches. I remember being pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant right before I went into labor, and she would go by my house and say the guy's name that I was living with and have her sisters and stuff. And I remember I got tired of it. I go out, she stops right in the middle because she knew she can't get in trouble if you're in the street. She's not trespassing. I remember she had her window down. I took her by her hair. I just grabbed her. You know, they were trying to jump me. I'm 7 months pregnant. And she's trying to pull off, and I'm trying to pull her out of the car. So I couldn't get her. She got away, of course. After I had my son was about 2 months old, I seen her driving. And she had parked her car. Now, I was at the point, I didn't care if she had her kids in a car or not at that time. Didn't care. That's how my mind used to work. Now it's different. I think, what the hell is wrong with you? This is why I get karma. And I ran with my car, and I totaled her car. I mean, I sped up and I just ran into her because I was so angry. You and your sisters wanted to jump me while I was 7 months like, I was so angry. This is the temper that I had. I need you guys to understand. Somebody else called the cops. We would go to court. We would both drop the, like, you know, it wasn't like that back then. You just didn't get cops involved. Now, you might think, okay, yeah, well, that's going real life. But as far as, like, you know, whatever. But the judge seen me so many times. His name was Judge McNusky. I'll never forget, or McNusky or something like that. And he said to me, and he said my maiden name. He said, if I see you in my courtroom one more time, the only thing you have to do is bring your toothbrush. And everybody was laughing, and I was mad, like, it's not funny, you know. I remember going to court one time, and they said, the judge says, how many buttons do you have in your shirt? I think I had like 3. And I'm like, what? He goes, how many buttons do you have on your shirt? So I said 3. He goes, 3 days in jail. Another time he says, how much money do you have in your pocket? And you never bring money to your court. And I didn't know. And I had 11 cents. I'm going to pass this stupid thing. And it's so funny, these cameras, it'll tell you if a car is right in front of you and all that. It's very accident proof. Like, you know, if I take my hands off the wheel, it'll tell me, put your hands on the wheel. Anyway, so I had a dime and a penny. I didn't know I had 11 cents on me. 11 days in jail. So it was like that. But I never was like, well, she came to my house. Like, you just did what you did. Okay? Now, this is how loyal I was with the people I hung with. There was a drive-by I was in the car. I was not did not at this time have any knowledge this was going to happen. A lot of things I did. This time I did not. I was in the back seat. I made a video about it. I'll leave it down below. I was in the back seat. And the one girl was driving. Another girl, the guy was in the passenger side. I was over here, and there was two guys here. The guy that was in the passenger side said, "Don't that girl that tried to jump you, don't she live around here?" Because we were on our way to McDonald's. So I was like, yeah, there the girl house right there, 353, you know. All of a sudden I see him go underneath the seat, pulls the window down, shoots her fucking car. I mean, shoots it. And I was pissed. I said, what if those kids were in that car? Because see, now you're going, you know, back then and you just fought whatever. It wasn't you know, you didn't do all that like guns and all that like it is now. I mean, unless you're on with the gangs and there were shootings and all that. But, you know, I wasn't on that level, right? Guess what happened? There was a cop right behind us. You can't get away from that. The girl's mother, everybody comes. I'm the only white person in the car. I'm turning my head. Is a couple cops. They're both now detectives now. And she sees me. Of course, she's going to say my name. And I honestly had nothing to do with it. Now, they're all guy cops, so they can't search you. So they just asked me to lift my shirt up a little bit so they could see I didn't have a gun in my, you know, I was known for things, you know. Cop asked me who did it. I don't know. Because the girl knew who I was, the people I was with blamed me. I remember the hurt because I was raised with loyalty. I never ratted on them and who did it. To this day, the cop, they don't know. So I was sentenced for 4 years in jail. Unlawful for possession of a firearm, unlawful use, different charges. Someone got plea bargained down, but it was concurred to do 4 years. Well, New Jersey has an ISP program, and it's a one-time thing in your whole life that you can get, depending, you know, if you ever had other charges. You know, I had like simple assault charges, different things, but never, I think I had I think the armed robbery was after that. I'm not sure. And I was able to get on the ISP program. So I did 4.5 months in the county, because you could do up to a year in the county before you go to a prison. And then, you know, it's, oh my God, I was 18 months on an ISP program. And when I tell you how strict, you got to be home by 6 o'clock. You can't drink. I was an alcoholic then. You can't do this. They can come at 3 in the morning and drug test you. I mean, it was very hard. And if you mess up one time or violate, you have to do the whole time, the whole 4 years, without doing like 80% that they do. You know what I mean? I was the only one with a kid. I think Tyler was 6 months old at the time. So, of course, I did the ISP because I knew I can get, you know, I wanted to be there for him. I never ratted. Oh, and they were showing an example, but I never ratted. I want you to understand the loyalty that I have when you're my friend. I see those people now to the day, one of them especially, and their mother, they come up, hey, Ann, I got known because I didn't rat, as, I mean, I had a lot of respect. And to this day, I still have a lot of respect, okay? We're the old heads. Now it's the new heads that are, you know, but we're the old heads, you know? I didn't become friends with anybody for probably about 10 years. I didn't trust people. I was so hurt. I couldn't believe it. But I was who I am, and my morals meant a lot to me. Now, most people would have ratted them to hell, especially having a kid. That's what people would do. That's not me. If you're my friend now and you truly murder your husband, I'm going to help you bury that body and I'll never tell. I'll go to jail. I am like that. And I know I am loyal to a fault. Okay? And I'm telling you all this for a reason. So I dealt with childhood trauma, my adult trauma, 3 kids, 3 different men. And that's all different. I've shared stories before. Friends that I couldn't believe that did this to me. And they told me the excuses were, well, we thought you were just going to fine and we were going to pay your fine, whatever. No, you're a coward. You learn the hard way. People talk. People get scared. They act big and bad. They want to shoot and kill and do drive-bys and armed robberies and stuff. But when it comes to jail time, they are running. They are singing like a bird. Okay? They're scared. So I believe that's what a lot of my depression, right? Because it was just one after, like, abandonment. And I couldn't understand why, my mother used to say, Ann, not everybody's like us. Not everybody's like you. Not everybody was raised the way that we were raised. And I just fell into this depression. And I never got help for it. So let's fast forward. I meet my husband. By this time, off of drugs, not on alcohol anymore. My husband knew me since high school. And my husband knew the good, the bad, how I would. Do you know what I mean? He accepted me. He knew how I was. I mean, in high school, I set somebody on fire, like an accident. That's a whole nother story. I don't know what this thing that keeps beeping. Oh, I know what it's doing. If you're not exactly in the middle, okay, it makes that beeping sound. If you're just a little over, not that you're over the line, it'll beep. Okay, I understand now. I gotta learn how to turn that off. But anyway. So, remember, my mother was like, you don't let anybody correct your kids. You don't do this, you don't do that. So, when you have a blended family, it could be hard. My husband is he was nothing like me. He's never done a drug, never even took a pain pill, but ibuprofen 800 I think is the worst. Does he drink here and there? Yeah, but he's never been like what we would call white girl drunk. Maybe tipsy, but never been, you know what I mean? I'm the type, if I could figure out a way right now how to get food stamps, I would hustle the government if I could. You understand what I'm saying? He would be like, nope, because we'll get in trouble. This will happen. Like, he is so different. He was very in faith, and I had a lot of faith, okay? I wasn't what you call religious, and I didn't go to church every Sunday, but I was always reading the Bible, watching church online gospel, and he knew his Bible so good, and we talked a lot about it, and because I wasn't attracted to my husband when I first met him, but he grew on me, and he was very good to me, and he knew the Bible. But I was very I shared this story before. This did not happen, but let's say Isaiah, because Isaiah was my youngest, he was 6. Let's say at that time, Isaiah was like, Mom, can I have an apple? And I say, yeah, go ahead. And he says, nope, it's past his time. He needs to go to bed. He should have ate it earlier. I would be like, we would cause an argument. No, you don't overturn me. You don't tell my son anything. You don't have the authority. I understand it's wrong. First of all, I still believe what I say goes, or you come talk to me, take me into a room. But I was really bad. And that causes, guess what happens? The kids don't have respect. My oldest son at the time, Tyler, was 16. And he hasn't been, there was never a man around in years. So the first time, here's a true story. The first date me and my husband, my boyfriend at the husband now at the time had, I get a call because he had to come over before, when I first met him, after my kids were in bed, and he had to leave before they woke up. I get a call at 2 a.m. from police. My son was 16. He was arrested. And I didn't know where this place was. So the first time meeting me, on a date, he's taking me to pick up my son, my 16-year-old son who got locked up. That's the first and last time my son ever got locked up. He's a good kid. But, you know, he was hanging with a couple 18-year-olds. They get pulled over, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Because he was 16, I had to pick him up. You know, all that stuff. I thought, oh my God, if he's going to stay with me, I mean, that's pretty big, you know. And I just wanted to throw that in there. So anyway, we didn't always have the greatest marriage because, you know, I always chose my kids first, and I still will to this day. But because how he was raised, he was at least God, then your spouse, then your children, then your parents. And I'm like, God, then my children, then my husband, then my mother. Well, sometimes it was my mother first, then my husband. You know, I started to do YouTube. I started becoming friends. Remember I told you, I didn't have friends for over 10 years because of what happened to me. I didn't trust people. And I became friends with a couple people. And you guys know, you know, some. And it kind of got me out of my depression. Because it felt good to have a friend to talk to. And when you're my friend, you're like sister. That's how I was raised. Now let's fast forward to 2018. Everything was doing great. I started YouTube in 2017. 2018 had the house fire. That was my childhood home. February 2019, I lost my grandmother, and my grandmother was the one who helped raise me because my mom had addiction issues and they lived together. She was like a second mother. October 2019, my daughter had blood clots and different things, embolism. Anyway, she had to get heart surgery, and they gave me a 50-50 chance on my daughter. Now, my mom was dying. My mom was on hospice. So who do you choose? Of course, I choose my daughter. A month later, well, so that happened October 1st or the 2nd, I can't remember, with my daughter. I get my mom to finally move back into her home the end of October. I want to say the 29th, 30th. Now Thanksgiving's coming. I start cooking Thanksgiving at my house because my mom's just moving in. There's not proper pots and pans and all that kind of stuff. That night I left. I said, okay, I'm going to start cooking. I'll bring everything over. I had this feeling. Oh God, please don't get emotional. My mom was sleeping all the time. And there was the commode there, you know, like a bathroom, because she couldn't walk or anything. I had already left, but my oldest son stayed there, you know. So somebody was there 24/7, like there at night, you know. My son calls me at 12:30 in the morning. He says, I can't get Grandma off the commode. It was like, Dad, wait, can you help? I'd already took my sleeping pill because I knew I had to get up at like 5 or 6 in the morning to start the turkey, all that stuff. So my husband goes over there, helps. My husband says, your mom's not doing good. So I'll be there in the morning. I'll call. I call, talk to Tyler. I said, I got the turkey in the oven. I'll be over there, bring everything over, you know, all that kind of stuff. About 9 o'clock, he goes, well, I'm going to jump in the shower. I said, is Grandma, everything's okay? You know, do you need me to come? About 30 minutes later, I get a call that my mom passed. I don't even remember putting shoes on. Of course, I turned the turkey, everything off. And I see my son cradling my mom, saying, Grandma, Grandma, Grandma. Oh no, thank God my kids don't watch my stuff. But I looked at her fingers and they were like purple. She's been gone for a while. But I told my son, and I'll take this to my grave. I said, well, she waited till you got in the shower. You know, she didn't want to, you know, but she was gone overnight. When you're on hospice, you have to wait for a hospice person to come and pronounce them dead, and then the morgue picks them up. It's not like you can call 911 and they pick them up and all that stuff. It's a process. And because it was Thanksgiving, there was only one person on call. So I had to wait almost 4 hours. So we're sitting with my mother's body. And when she comes, I had to help change my mother in case she went to the bathroom on herself or something. And then, you know, I had my family there. I called my aunt, all that. But they couldn't handle it, so they had to leave when the morgue came. I always had it, you know, it's my mom and grandma's power of attorney, and I always had to be the parent. When my brother turned 18, he just couldn't handle with my mom and the issues and stuff. He left. He disowned the family. So I was really like an only child. I was so numb because of a lot of things happened in my life. And the way my kids were, I said, Thanksgiving, I have to do something. Of course, after my mom, you know, they took my mother. Go back to the house with my kids, and I finished cooking Thanksgiving dinner. I didn't make very much, trust and believe. And we didn't really eat. I mean, we ate, but we didn't. But I thought, I have to do something because I'm thinking about my kids, not me. And I was so numb. I thought 9 months apart, I lost my mom and grandma. I have nobody. You know, me and my husband, we wasn't on the greatest terms because, you know, I was going through so much, and you always take things out on people that you care about. Well, after a while, me and my husband separated. And I was so angry. I mean, even my kids, my youngest, Isaiah, would say, Mom, why are you always so angry? Then I would say, who the hell are you talking to like that? You know, because I didn't understand. Sometimes when you're going through it, you don't understand. Because I'm still dealing with childhood trauma. With everything. Everything. It's like I'm not playing victim now. Victim like this. Why is this always happening to me? I had just started my second channel. I think I had 3,000 subscribers. And if you guys know, if you know, I'm not going to get into it, but there was a thumbnail made about my daughter and whatever the case may be, and I thought it was a prior friend who did it. She did not do it, but even I thought she did. I made a video, never mentioned her name. So she thought I did this, blaming her. And she makes an exposed video. This is all what reason why I'm telling you. There's a reason why I'm telling you this stuff. Which was all lies. But in her eyes, she thought at the time all the information she had was the truth. The video goes up on my anniversary. Me and my husband got married 12/12. Unbeknownst to her. And at that time, my husband was having an affair. So not only was there an exposed video. Where the hell am I going? And I got so much hate because so many, I mean, I probably lost 800 subscribers within the first 15 minutes. I'm dealing with my anniversary and my husband with another fucking woman that I went to school with. I wanted to drink. I couldn't handle anymore. And I vented a lot to, like, especially if I had a couple of friends at that time. I was going through a lot, and I was still filming on my main channel. And that's just when, you know, if you knew 2-3 years ago, you know, people say you're negative, you're doing clickbait titles, but I was trying anything to get views or whatever the case may be, and I didn't realize how negative I was because what I was dealing with on a personal issue. What I should have done, okay, was took time off, but I didn't do that. Give me a second, I'm in traffic, I'll be right back. Okay. No, I don't know what I was saying. I gotta get over. So my true friends knew a lot of things I was going through, with just in a short period of time. House fire, losing my grandmother, who was like my mother, my daughter. I thought I was going to lose my daughter. Getting separated from your husband and him being with somebody else who I went to school with. And going through that drama online took a toll on me. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get over. Nobody's letting me over. And so I said, I'll never do drama online again. Even though it was on my second channel, I had like 3,000 subscribers, but it was terrible. Now, make a long story short, the person who I'm talking about, the not so evil stepmother, we've talked, we're healing, we're fine. We both know who really did it. It was stupid. I am under a tunnel. I would have never acted that way, or even should have went public, but I was dealing with things personal. You understand? I had hatred. I was angry. I was so angry. I think I kind of took it out on her, and just anything would have had me angry. And I have apologized to her, and I explained it, and I used to talk about her like a dog. Her nickname was Evil. I've told you guys this. I'm not going to keep getting into it, because I really thought she still had something to do with it. Because in my ear, somebody was like, well, in that thumbnail, that's what she used to say. It's stupid, over, it's done with. If that happened to me now, I wouldn't even have brought it online. But like I said, personally, I was going through so much. Well, anyway, fast forward, me and my husband, we went to marriage counseling. We're good. Is there 100% trust? No, but we're in the best that we have ever been. You know? And sometimes maybe you need that. I don't know. Not infidelity, but, you know, you need a break. So now let's talk about what has happened to me. So my health, I think, has declined a lot in the past couple of years. And a lot because of me, because I didn't take care of myself. Before I had my heart attack, I knew I had heart failure. On the bottom of my heart is like a thick, I don't know if I'm saying it right, where the heart doesn't move at all, and it's like a thick thing, and it's heart failure. I knew I had coronary heart disease. I knew that from my sugar. So I was always worried, like, you know, something happened, but I didn't take care of myself. Anyway, let's fast forward now to March of this year. I never felt like this before, and I thought something's wrong. I remember calling a couple people or texting, because my husband was away on business in New Jersey, but he was an hour and a half away, Trenton, New Jersey, and, you know, I don't know. And I remember one of my friends said, well, just lay down, relax, watch TV, whatever. I believe this person always thought I was like either sad fishing or exaggerating or whatever. I don't know. Everyone else was like, go to the hospital. I'm like, no, I'm not going to the hospital. You know, I hated hospitals because my mom was in there so many times. Like I said, I go to the doctor, everything happened. I found out I did have a heart attack, it was mild. Did a little damage to my heart, but not really. And I started doing my walk and talks, getting out of the house, you know, all that stuff. I was doing pretty good, but I was still at the worst depression because of the guilt, right? I thought I was so angry at my mother not taking care of herself, and I almost did it to my children. Then you guys know, there was one of my friends went public. They were upset with me, whatever the case may be. Should have never went public. Doesn't matter. I just want to explain how I got back into my addiction, which is none of their faults. Let me make that clear. I was so hurt. You guys, if you know, I put a video up the next day crying because I was blindsided, in my opinion. I was blindsided. I knew she was a little upset because she thought I took up for somebody. I was talking about mom shaming. You don't believe in mom shaming. She didn't like the person. This person made many, her name is Tara Nicole. She had made many videos. She still makes videos on me. But she was being mom shamed by a man. This nasty boss hog. And after you have a near-death experience, you look at things differently. Like, little things didn't make me angry anymore. You know, I looked at my life like, what the hell did I do in my life? Why was I so mad and wasted all this time with my mom? Why was I always angry with my kid? Why did I treat my husband the way I treated him if something could have happened? Like, you start thinking that way because it's trauma to your body too. Okay? Whatever. This person reaches out to me through a text message, not a phone call. And I say to her, you know, she was upset, thought I took up for the girl, whatever. And I say to her, look, don't let the small stuff get to you. Because, again, I have a lot of faith. And it was like, don't worry about, like, that's not what I meant. I would never deliberately do anything to hurt your feelings. She took it the wrong way, whatever the case may be. Whatever, doesn't matter. When I made my, so she puts out a video, the next day I make my video because I was like blindsided because I thought that everything was, we talked, I knew she was upset, but it was not a big deal. Like, we're sisters to me. I had her in my wheel. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, okay, you get upset, you get over it. You know, I literally just had a heart attack, could have died. Like, you know, let the small stuff, don't worry about that stuff. It's only YouTube, it's a video. And if it bothered you that much, I'll take the video down. It didn't matter. That's how I felt. Well, when I made my video, she texts me and she says, call me. You know, I'm here all night. I didn't want to talk. So the next day, you know, we talked. We didn't hold hands. We weren't like, you know, but we were laughing at the end. I'm like saying, well, I would have vlogged and come to your house and you should smack me in the face and blah, blah, you know, laughing, you know, whatever. I'm going to show some screenshots. I did a post and I said, because she was saying she was getting a lot of hate and stuff. So I say to her, I'm going to make a post, say that we talked, everything's okay. I was very upset because we had a podcast together. And, you know, she took me off everything, you know, because it was in her name. And it was like, you don't do business with whatever. And, you know, people were saying she was a thief, all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to clear her name. I am very loyal. That I can say what I want. I can say she's a fucking bitch. But I'm not going to allow anybody else to do it. That's just how I am. All of a sudden, I'm getting these tags from her, I guess, best friend. Or they say they're best friends. Jenny Lee. Never said her name before on my channel. Ann's lying, they're not okay. I don't know why she's saying it. Now, mind you, like I said, I made that community post to save face so people would stop. Well, I text Abby, and I say, what's going on? I thought we were, you know, we didn't hold it, you know, but I thought everything was okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to show you her reply, and I don't do text. This is the last text I'm going to show you. I want you to understand how it's blindsided. Well, her friend, I think 3 times kept tagging me and saying how I was this awful person. I'm lying behind the scenes. And I wrote to her on the post, look, you want to go public? Let's go public. This was 1 week after I had a heart attack and heart surgery. You see, I'll leave it here. I say, because I didn't understand. I was still blindsided. Why were people upset? Because remember, nobody contacted me. Nobody contacted me. So I didn't understand why people were so upset. Find out later, but at that particular time, you can see I was begging them. Please, I need to work on my health. Please stop. They didn't. I was ganged up on, I felt at that time. Because I still didn't understand where is this coming from. And regardless what it is, you don't have that sympathy. Somebody literally just, what if that would have put me back in the hospital? Like, they didn't care. Well, then a live stream was made. About an hour in, Jenny Lee makes a live stream. She then explains, and I understood, that her and her best friend Abby were setting me up for months. It's in there. I'll leave all the videos down below. all different things. It doesn't matter. And I need you to understand, Jenny Lee and other people, we were friendly. None of them had my phone number. I didn't have their phone number. We didn't talk every day, but it was very civil. So I didn't understand, like, if you heard I was talking about you, or if you heard, or whatever, I still don't understand. Why didn't you come to me? Or why would you even allow this to even go on YouTube? I don't understand. I later find out videos Abby was making a month prior were all about me. When I asked her, she told me they were about her sister. I can show that if it's a lie. I can show it. I still have these text messages, okay? So I'm not knowing she has this, she's upset about to me. You know, I don't know. The first live stream, whatever. Then there's another live stream that Jenny Lee makes, and she titled it Mental Health because it was in May. Abby was somebody called CPS. She alluded that it was me. I believe she took those parts out, but there's almost 2,000 views. A lot of you guys already seen it. I did screen record it, so I still have it if I need to make a video and play it. I know she likes to strike channels, so I have it, you know. It doesn't matter. And you remember in my vlogs, I was like, I would never go real life. That's why I brought up how I used to be. I would have rather went to Abby's house, punched her in the fucking face, before I would have did that. She's a great mother. She's a great mother. And why? And I knew her children. Why would I ever put her children through that? And supposedly, CPS got called to her mother-in-law's house. Abby can tell you, I don't know where her mother-in-law lives. Never. Maybe the city, I think she told me one time, but I don't know. That's where she used to give the addresses when people wanted to send her mail. It didn't go to her house. And so many people unsubscribed and said, well, how would they know where she lived? Well, they didn't go to her house right away. They went to her mother-in-law's house, where she gave people the home's addresses. I don't know where her mother-in-law lives. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't have done that. Then Jenny proceeds to bring up my mother, my dead mother, of how I acted, call me a psycho because I finished cooking Thanksgiving dinner. Bringing up my husband, saying when I would do vlogs, they were being smart with my husband. My husband doesn't even really know what's going on. Let's just be real. My children threatening if I didn't take that one video down that I made where I was crying, she was going to show all these texts. Like I said, there were things sometimes I thought that we were friendly. I vented. I got mad at my friend Lisa before. Lisa knows what happened. I told Lisa what I said, what I vented. I was mad about things. Lisa was mad with me. That's what you do. Lisa knows everything. But it was the fact they were blackmailing me. I'm going to leave those videos up. And I thank God. And the reason why I bring up the not so evil stepmother, she defended me. Because I guess she had talked to Abby. I haven't talked to Abby. Because I was so upset, like, this is your friend. They claim you guys are best friends. And you allowed her to make these videos. I understand you can't. How would Jenny get these informations? Because she knew certain stuff about me nobody knew. I remember Jenny one time showed me a screenshot of somebody, I won't mention their name, she thought she was copying them. I show Abby. I'm like, why does everybody think they're copying? Abby says to me, why would Jenny send you that thing? And I said, I don't know. And I said, I don't trust people. Because I don't. What happened to me with my friends prior. You know, Abby went and showed Jenny what I said. So I didn't know. That's why Jenny was upset with me. Of course, you think I'm talking shit. But all she had to do was get a hold of me and I would have told the contacts. I don't trust people. But I'm friends with you for 6 years. Whatever I tell you, why are you going back telling? I mean, it was just so stupid to me. And what really hurt me was nobody cared that this was affecting my health. And these are the same people that make videos. When people make videos on them, they claim bullying and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't go real life and you don't talk about people's kids, you don't talk about their husband, you don't mom shame, but you did it to me. And you didn't even care that I just had a heart attack. I had people that came to me and wanted to defend, and I said, no, don't do it. Let it go. Stop. Because I had other people making videos off of Jenny Lee's videos. Mind you, they showed no proof of anything, right? It was just talk. And that's when it got to me. But my health still wasn't as great, and I didn't want to talk. I couldn't handle any more drama, because what I did with Alex, with the not so your stepmother, was so bad. I never wanted to deal with it again. Then I was hurt. You know, people say, I can't watch you anymore because you're filming every day and the other person isn't. I thought, well, the other person started it. She should have never made the video. She shouldn't have been talking crap and telling my business and saying why the podcast isn't in my name. Like, what your friend admitted you guys were setting me up for months. Why not just say you didn't want to be my friend? I don't understand. And this is not to talk about people. I need you to understand that that is the icing on the cake that I relapsed. When I stopped going to cardiac rehab and this and that, I did. I'm not going to lie. So for the reason why I haven't been filming is because I've been detoxing, going through withdrawal. I feel better today than I felt since the first time. It's been about 10, 12 days. Now, again, I want to make this clear. Nobody made me do it but me. Going through that withdrawal was one of the best things I did. Because at the 4th day, you start reaching out to people that you know you helped out. If there was Suboxone, or you had this, or when I was on, you know, you give 30 at a time, 10, and you're desperate. You reach out to family that you knew that, you know. No, of course, nobody helped. But I remember sitting on the couch and I'm rocking like this. And my mom used to do that when she was going through withdrawal. And it used to drive me crazy and anxiety. But now I get why she did it, right? Because you even get suicidal thoughts, like you just want to die. You don't want to go through this. You don't want to, like, I am kind of glad I went through it because I can kind of relate to my mother now. So everything happens for a reason. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, I'm going to leave the Not So Evil Stepmother's video down below. I really, really wish you would watch it. She explains me a lot of it. I see online how people get mad. They don't like somebody. They make videos. They talk about them. Sometimes it's obsessive. If you're talking about somebody more than 10 times over a month, bullying, you don't know what the other person is going through, especially on a personal level. You have no idea and what that can do, especially if somebody's having suicidal thoughts, depression. Sobriety is being messed with. You don't know what people are dealing with. There are people that are swatting houses or calling the CPS, like all this stuff, and I don't understand it. If you don't like somebody that much, stop watching their content. Don't watch them. I don't understand. Even if something happens on a personal level, why do people go private? I mean, why do people go public? What is the reason? What? I mean, I know the reason is because you want them to get hate. You don't care about it. You're enjoying it, all that kind of stuff, because that has to be the reason. I don't know. Jenny Lee says a lot that, like, oh, Ann stands. But when you put Just Dan's World and Just Dan in your title, YouTube will recommend that video to people that watch me. I've never mentioned her name before. I've never even mentioned her live streams. Just that, you know, somebody was saying that I called CPS and I didn't do it. Because I had so many people unsubscribed thinking I called CPS, which I would never do. And we have to really think, like, even when you leave a mean comment, even people now, like, I can talk about forgiveness, this, that, because I've forgiven that. I'm still, like, I don't, maybe I haven't, because it still upsets me, because I never had an apology or whatever the case may be. Videos are still up. It's just, I don't know. You don't know what people are going through. So just be careful. Like I said, what I did had nothing to do with what that was a choice on me. But what I'm saying is a person has a breaking point. Especially when somebody knows what you dealt with for the last 3 years. Like, if my friend Lisa, my best friend Lisa, made a video, I would have said take it down. And if she didn't want to take it down, I wouldn't be her friend anymore. I don't understand. Like, I don't know. If you don't want to be somebody's friend, just don't be their friend. But don't not tell them and they think everything's okay and blindside them. Like, don't do that. I remember saying to Jenny Lee in the community post, like, let's all have it, because at that time I didn't know what was going on. I said, let's have a three-way conversation. Let's find out. They didn't want to do that. When somebody doesn't want to have a three-way conversation, or if the other party don't want to be involved, maybe you need to think, maybe somebody's playing you. Maybe they're playing both sides. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm just saying. And maybe because I'm in my 40s, maybe I think differently. Like, I know I went public with the not so evil stepmother with the thumbnail. I was in a different, not that that was an excuse. I was in a different mind space, like different. I would have never did that now. You know what I mean? But it's terrible. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I just wanted to come on and say where I've been, what's going on. I did relapse. I'm okay now. Today's Saturday. I'll be filming tomorrow for my main channel. And be kind, guys. Be kind to people. Don't let little things bother you that much. If somebody keeps talking about you, don't let it affect you. Shut your computer off. That's what I should have did. And I'm learning when I'm upset, take little breaks. Right? Alright, guys. I'm going to get off of here. I might vlog a little bit on the way back, put it in another video. But I missed you guys. And I'm back, and my health is amazing. Well, as best as it could be. And I'm doing really, really good. And I got a new car. I got a new puppy. Things are going great. Alright guys, please like this video. I know it's a long one. Or dislike it. That helps me out as well. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this online bullying. Do you think it got worse? Have you noticed it? Let me know down below. I should be there in about 20 more minutes. So, alright guys. Stay beautiful. Stay blessed. Stay healthy. And most importantly, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Oh God, just upload it, Ann. I know. Oh God, this is so personal and judgment, but if you can help one person is all you need to help. It's not the end of the world. You will get through things. When you're going through things, you just got to get through it.